Hello guys, this is your friend Naruto 2.3 and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Naruto's Family 15 Year After Wake Up from a Coma Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please give me hype instead of comment and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Along the outskirts of Konoha, lay a temple that belonged to the Uzumaki clan, a temple where they had stored a myriad of masks. Inside the temple, a couple of caretakers were tending to the building and its contents. Unbeknownst to either of them, a dimensional rift appeared in one of the temple's storerooms and a few moments later, a strange object fell out of it before the rift closed up again. As one of the caretakers was cleaning the floor of the storerooms, her eye suddenly fell on a wooden object. Picking it up, she noticed it was a mask, a wooden mask that featured an iron band from the top of the mask down to where the nose should be. Momiji, have you ever seen this mask here before? The caretaker asked her fellow caretaker, getting Momiji's undivided attention as she stopped dusting off the Oni mask in her hands. Let me take a look, Momiji said as she took a look at the strange mask. Sorry Kura, I have never seen this mask before. It must be one of the masks the Uzumaki brought to the temple recently, but still, it's strange that this one looks so different. Kura just shrugged her shoulders. Guess it doesn't matter then. I'll just place it with the other masks, she said before placing the mask on one of the shelves in the storeroom where she found it. There, that takes care of that. All tidy and neat, but it's out of sight so the view isn't spoiled by one mask sticking out like a sore nail, a satisfied Kura said, to which Momiji nodded in agreement. Yep, now let's get back to work. I don't want to miss dinner like the last time we got sidetracked, you know. Momiji dryly said, prompting Kura to quickly nod her head before getting back to what they were doing. Neither of them realized that the mask they just stored away wasn't brought here by the Uzumaki clan, but was ejected through a dimensional rift in an attempt from one certain Stanley Ipkiss to permanently dispose of this particular mask. They were ignorant of the power the mask contained, power that would someday shake the foundations of Konoha and the rest of the elemental nations. But until then, nobody would ever pay the strange wooden mask any attention and nobody would wear it for years to come. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. It was over. Konoha was safe, and the Nine Tails has been successfully resealed. Kushina Uzumaki was so tired, barely able to stay on her feet. She could feel consciousness leaving her as she collapsed to one knee. Glancing over to her husband, his vacant, glassy eyes told her all she needed to know. He was dead, his soul taken by the Shinigami. She glanced over to Naruto's tiny form, just a few short yards away, his fusses and cries moving her to action, despite her condition. Willing herself to remain conscious for just a little while longer, she fell to her hands and knees and attempted to crawl towards him. The effort was grueling, her limbs growing heavier and heavier with each successive movement. It was only the thought of feeding her hungry little baby just once before she expired that kept her going. She felt more and more faint, her vision becoming blurred as color started to fade from her sight, but somehow she kept crawling and dragging her body inch by agonizing inch towards her son. This was the scene that two men whom Kushina knew quite well arrived upon. Kushina! Yelled the voice of the older of the pair with relief and surprise. Hiru, Zen, she managed to croak out as he bent down towards her. Can you bring my baby to me? Hiruzen wasted no time, quickly fetching the newborn from within the ceiling array where he was laying and bringing him to his mother, whom the younger of the pair, one Jiraiya of the Sannin, was holding in a sitting-up position and helping her to remove her shirt as she had directed. "He's hungry," she gurgled out, clenching her eyes shut as a terrible shot of pain coursed its way from her back and stomach through the rest of her body, before she added with a weak, loving and sad smile, "He needs mommy." Jiraiya ripped the remainder of Kushina's top from her upper body, exposing her to the night air while Hiruzen placed Naruto in her arms and helped her bring the babe to a nipple so that he could nurse. Kushina's smile widened slightly as she felt her memory being drained by her son. "At least, I got to feed you one time, my precious Naru-chan." Kushina's selfless devotion to her baby and her giving the remainder of her life energy into this single act of love moved both men to tears. Kushina's eyes rolled back and shut, her head lolling to the side as she finally lost consciousness. Hiruzen continued to hold Naruto to her as he was still suckling. Once Naruto was finished, he immediately fell asleep. Hiruzen laid the boy down on a soft patch of earth, protected only by the blanket he was swaddled in, before quickly returning to Jiraiya's side. "Jiraiya, we have to keep her alive." Jiraiya looked at the man as if he was insane. There was no way she would even live through the night. Her injuries from having the 9 tails ripped out of her and being impaled through her stomach were too grievous. He glanced over to Naruto's sleeping form. The poor boy was burdened to be a Jinchuriki and would be an orphan on top of that. Jiraiya sadly shook his head. "It's no use, sensei. She won't make it. No, we can save her if we use seals to put her in a coma. We don't have enough time, sensei. She'll die before we can complete any kind of sealing array. Listen to me, boy." Hiruzen fired back using the tone he used to use with his students when he was teaching them as genin, immediately causing Jiraiya to stiffen up and pay attention. "We seal her body in a scroll now so we can transport her to a secret facility that I have set up. We prepare temporary stasis tags that we immediately apply to her body once we unseal her body from the scroll. While the stasis tags do their work, we apply more permanent stasis seals to her body so that when we remove the tags, her remaining chakra will power the seals after we activate them. That will allow us to heal her injuries in safety so nobody can take advantage of her vulnerable state during that time." Jiraiya's eyes went wide as Hiruzen explained his plan to him. It was pretty unorthodox, and it was crazy enough that it just might work, especially given that Kushina was a full-blooded Uzumaki. He quickly nodded, pulled out a scroll and quickly painted a large storage seal on it. The moment he was finished, Hiruzen made a hand sign, and Kushina's body disappeared in a large puff of smoke, the seal on the scroll adding a kanji to show that it was filled. Hiruzen collected Naruto from the ground as Jiraiya put the scroll back into the harness across his back. The two immediately fled the scene, Jiraiya following his old sensei back to his office, where he would learn of one of Konoha's most truly well-kept secrets. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. Sitting on a swing in one of Konoha's playgrounds was a 6-year-old Naruto. He was bored, for he had nobody to play with. Looking around, his eyes fell on a group of boys around his age laughing and playing some kind of game with red rubber balls. They were throwing them at each other and it looked like fun. Maybe they would like to play with me, he thought with childish eagerness as he got out of the swing and ran towards the children, wanting to join them. Hey, what game are you guys playing? Naruto asked with excitement, catching the attention of the other children, and some of the nearby mothers who were watching their children play. You don't know. It's called dodgeball, responded one of the boys, surprised that he didn't know what game they were playing. It was a popular game amongst children after all. Naruto tiled his head and asked, "How does it work?" "It's really simple," another boy answered and began to explain the rules. "You throw balls at the other team and try to hit them while trying to avoid getting hit yourself. If you hit them, they're out. But, if you throw it at the other team and they catch the ball, then you're out. Also, if you hit someone and another person on their team catches the ball before it hits the ground, you're still out and the person that got hit is saved. But just because you're out doesn't mean you stop playing. Players who are out go out of bounds on the side of the other team, and they can still throw the balls at the other team to get them out. But the team that gets all the other team's members out is the winner." "Sounds fun. Can I play with you guys?" Naruto asked with hope and excitement. The children looked at each and whispered some things to each other. Naruto couldn't make out what they were saying. He was about to ask what they were saying, but they stopped whispering and turned back towards him. "Okay, you can join. The more people, the more fun." Naruto smiled happily and made a fist pump. "Awesome." Just as he was about to join the game, a shadow fell over him. Naruto turned around to see a group of women towering over him. "What do you think you're doing near our children?" The one of them sneered at Naruto with palpable disgust. Naruto shrank under the glares that the women, most likely the mothers of these boys, were giving him. I just asked if I could play with them," Naruto stammered out, becoming nervous from the intimidating figures and glares of the women in front of him. Mom. He was just going to play dodgeball with us," one of the boys, obviously confused by his mother's behavior, explained to her before she could respond to Naruto. All of the boys shared his confusion as they didn't understand what the problem was. The boy's mother looked at her son. "Sweetie, you shouldn't play with this thing," she answered to her son and pointed towards Naruto. "Nothing good comes from being around this scoundrel." The boy as well as the other children just looked confused. "Why? I don't get it. Just listen to me, sweetie. Mommy knows best. Just stay away from him, okay?" "All right," the boy conceded, still not really understanding what was so bad about this blonde-haired boy, and not liking what his mother said about him, but he would listen to his mother like any child would. The other mothers followed the same example, telling their children to stay away from Naruto as well. They too just nodded and ran further into the playground, leaving Naruto behind with their mothers. Naruto looked crestfallen. It was so unfair. He just wanted to play and make friends, but he never got to play with anybody. He was always alone for as far as he could remember, and now some kids wanted to play with, and this happens. "Why? I just wanted to play and make friends," he objected, looking up towards the group of mothers with a hurt look on his face, only to be met with angry shouts as the mothers verbally tore into the poor child. "Because you are nothing but trouble. Stay away from our children. Nobody wants someone like you around. You don't belong here. Leave our children alone. They shouldn't let filth like you roam around. How dare you try to corrupt our children? We won't let you hurt our children. Stop it. I'm not filth and I'm not trouble," Naruto yelled, hurt by the things the women were shouting at him. "Yes, you are. You are a good-for-nothing troublemaker who nobody wants around. That's why you were surely abandoned," one of the women said with a spiteful edge. "No, that can't be true. My parents loved me," Naruto denied, shaking his head. He closed his eyes as tears threatened to spill out because of all the cruel things these women were saying to him. You hear that? He thinks his parents loved him. Now, listen carefully, Boy, the woman gleefully said as she saw Naruto being close to tears while spitting the word, boy, out venomously. Nobody in this village wants you. Nobody even likes you, let alone love you. She continued before finishing with a cruel smile, why would your parents be different? The truth is they hated you like everybody else. They probably wished you had never been born at all. Naruto couldn't hear any of this any longer. With tears streaming down his face, he turned around and ran away as fast as his little legs could carry him, leaving the group of cruel, short-sighted mothers behind. The mothers all watched as he ran off, smugly satisfied at having put the little wretch in his place. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. Hiruzen was not having a good day. He could swear that the stack of paperwork in front of him was somehow capable of casting the shadow clone jutsu. There just seemed no end to it at times. How he cursed the fact Minato had died 6 years ago to stop the Nine Tails as he was left behind to take up the position of Hokage once more lest his former teammate, Danzo, got his hands on the position. That particular thought made him shudder, considering his old friend's uncompromising militaristic ways. After what he could only describe as a Herculean effort, he finally managed to work his way through all the paperwork. Taking his first break since his workday started, he took out his glass orb to check up on how Naruto was doing. To this day, he had not been able to heal Kushina, and young Naruto had it very rough without a parent. He did all he could for the boy, even going as far as trying to be a grandfather figure for the boy, but his own efforts were rendered less effective by the constraints of time and of his work. Oh, he was well aware of how intolerant the villagers were towards the poor boy. When he revealed Naruto's status as a Jinchuriki 6 years ago as per Minato's dying wish, the villagers demanded the boy's head. He had passed down a law that forbade anyone to speak of Naruto's burden. He had hoped this would at least keep the younger generation ignorant of Naruto's status as the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, but it was no use as parents would ensure their children avoided the boy. He smiled as he saw Naruto approach a group of children to play with through his trusty crystal ball. His smile quickly turned to a frown as the mothers of the children forbade them from playing with Naruto and told them to stay away from him before verbally tearing into the boy in a callous manner that left the boy running away in tears. What angered him the most was that he couldn't do anything about it, for they did not break the law and, Hokage or not, he could not force people to change their views. If Hiruzen thought his day couldn't get worse, then he was sorely mistaken. He kept watching as Naruto ran to the spot he would always go to when he felt sad, the Hokage monument, on top of the 4th Hokage's head to be specific. Moments like these make me wonder if the will of fire, the belief that the entire is like a large family unit, died out 6 years ago, Hiruzen sadly thought as he watched the young youth bawl with heart-wrenching emotional pain. Then it happened. His eyes shot wide with worry and alarm as he noted the ominous red chakra that started bursting forth from Naruto's body. Tenzo. A tiger-masked member of Anbu immediately leapt out of the shadow at the Hokage's command, kneeling before him and awaiting his command. Young Naruto has unconsciously tapped into his tenant's chakra. I need you to aid me in suppressing it before any damage is caused. Hiruzen ordered before he and Tenzo made a tiger hand seal each before disappearing in a puff of smoke. Moments later, both men appeared on top of the Hokage monument, where Naruto laid on the ground, surrounded in a shroud of the Nine Tails red chakra, writhing in pain. Tenzo glanced at Hiruzen, who gave him brief nod. He knew what to do. Tenzo quickly used the Kakuin entering society with bliss-bringing hands jutsu to produce the kanji for sit on his palm and jumped towards Naruto, touching his chest with that palm before jumping back, a thick strand of chakra connecting him to Naruto. Slamming his other hand to the ground, he made 10 wooden pillars spring up around Naruto in a circular formation. Not wasting any time, Tenzo quickly began using the fabled technique of the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, to suppress the Nine Tails chakra within the outlined area. The malevolent shroud of chakra slowly began to recede until it was completely gone, leaving an unconscious Naruto lying motionless on the ground. "It is done," Tenzo remarked with notable relief. "It is fortunate that we got here as quickly as we did. If the fox had managed to gain a hold of the boy through his emotional state, Kami knows what could have happened," Hiruzen solemnly said, drawing a questioning look from Tenzo. "Lord Hokage, if I may ask, what do you mean by that? Is there a flaw in the seal?" "No, nothing of the sort. The seal is fine. The problem lies in how the village treats the boy. I had hoped the law I passed with regards to his status as a Jinchuriki would at least ensure he would not be isolated from the younger generation," Hiruzen began to explain, but it made little difference. Naruto tried to play with some children and was cruelly told off by a group of mothers. The things they said hurt the boy emotionally, enough for him to apparently tap into the Nine Tails chakra, and the rest is history. "I see. That said, I will have to schedule several meetings with Ibiki for the people responsible for putting the boy in this state, indirectly endangering the safety of Konoha," Hiruzen stated with a steel edge to his voice that clearly belied that despite his old age, he was not to be crossed. Hiruzen picked Naruto up and headed back for his office. Leaving him to rest there, he summoned several more Anbu and led them himself to the mothers who had caused Naruto such pain to place them under arrest. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. Naruto groggily opened his eyes and noticed that he was in the Hokage's office, with said Hokage sitting next to him. "Ugh, Grandpa. What happened?" Naruto asked tiredly. "You passed out, Naruto-kun. I'm glad to see you're alright." Naruto's expression turned sour, more sour than any child should look. "Grandpa." Yes. Why does everyone hate me?" Naruto asked, his voice low and trembling. Hiruzen gave Naruto a pitying look. "Not everyone hates you, Naruto-kun. The villagers, they just refuse to get over their own problems," he said, trying to calm the boy down, but Kami knows when or if the villagers would ever put Nine Tails attack on the village behind them. Naruto began to sob. "But it's not fair. What have I done wrong to them? I never did anything and everybody hates me, even my parents do. They'll never accept me. It hurts so much. I wish I was never born. I hate this stupid village." He shouted frantically between sobs. Hiruzen looked alarmed. He knew Naruto was obviously feeling hurt, but this course of thought, this was worse than he anticipated. If he would not step in now, then things were bound to end in tragedy. At best, the boy would go insane like the Kazekage's youngest son had gone recently, or he would end up committing suicide, which would also mean the Nine Tails would be back to finish what it had started years ago. He could not allow either of these things to happen. He owed Minato and Kushina that much, and he owed Naruto far more than that. He had wanted to wait with what he had in mind until Naruto was older, but given the circumstances, he would have to take a risk and hope the boy would understand what he was about to tell him. Hiruzen took a deep breath, before sternly addressing Naruto, "Naruto-kun. I wanted to wait until you were old enough to understand what I'm about to tell you before I explain more about the reason behind the village's treatment of you and about your parents, but I need you to listen carefully to me. You have to promise me that you will not speak a word of anything I am going to tell you right now, at any time or for any reason. Can you promise me that? Naruto's head snapped up towards Hiruzen and he answered quickly, "Why yes, I promise. I won't tell a soul." He was nodding his head all the while before he added, "Although I don't understand why." "It's for your safety, Naruto-kun," Hiruzen explained in his professor tone. "As you know, 6 years ago, the Nine Tails attacked our village and was killed by the fourth Hokage. That story is not entirely true though." Naruto looked confused with his head tilted slightly. Huh. What happened then and what does that have to do with me? The Nine Tails cannot be killed. Indeed, it was defeated. The fourth Hokage defeated it by sealing it away, into a newborn baby. That baby was you. Horror was written over Naruto's face as Hiruzen dropped the bomb on him. "Why you mean everybody hates me because I'm a monster?" Naruto asked with a quivering voice. "No. You're not a monster, my boy," Hiruzen exclaimed. He reached into his robes and took out a scroll and a kunai. "Tell me, what do you see here?" he asked. "That's a kunai and a scroll." "Indeed. Now I'm going to seal the kunai into the scroll," Hiruzen said before following suit with action, making the kunai disappear in a puff of smoke. "What do I have here now?" "A scroll," Naruto confusedly answers. Hiruzen nodded knowingly. "Yes, Naruto-kun. It's still a scroll with a kunai inside of it, but still nothing more than a simple scroll." Seeing the confused look on Naruto's face, Hiruzen smiled and explained the analogy. "It's the same with you, my boy. When you were born, you were a boy, plain and simple. Just like this is a scroll, plain and simple. And just like the kunai was sealed in this scroll, the nine-tailed fox was sealed in you. And just like this scroll with the kunai in it is still nothing more than a scroll, you, even with the nine tails sealed inside you, is still nothing more than a young boy, plain and simple. You are not the nine tails, just like this scroll is not the kunai sealed inside of it." Seeing Naruto's eyes widen in understanding and enlightenment, Hiruzen pressed on. "The sealing of the nine tails into you makes you not the demon, but its prison, and because of you, this village is still standing. When the fourth Hokage sealed the nine tails into you, he wished for you to be seen as a hero, but the villagers haven't been able to move past the hurt over all the loss caused in the Nine Tails rampage. I wish it were different, but even as Hokage, I can't force people to change their minds." "I see," Naruto responded sadly. He now understood why people treated him so coldly, but it didn't make him feel any better though. If anything, it made him feel worse. Hiruzen noted this. He hoped that what he was about to tell would give the boy a reason to keep going. "Naruto, I want you to know that despite their feelings, they have no excuse to treat you the way those mothers did. Earlier, yes, I was watching from my crystal ball over there. And about what those monsters said, about your parents hating you. That's not true, Naruto-kun," he said, snapping Naruto out of his sad mood. "But then why aren't they here? Did you know them?" Naruto demanded. "First off, you have to understand that I didn't tell you about your parents because they made many enemies during their lives. I was going to tell you once you were strong enough to defend yourself from people who would want to hurt you just for who your parents are," Hiruzen answered. "For that same reason, I still can't tell you who your father is yet, besides that he died during the Nine Tails rampage, but I can tell you about your mother. Your mother's name is Kushina Uzumaki, and she is still alive." She is in a coma right now, a deep sleep if you will. But why is she sleeping instead of being here? Did she not want me? Naruto asked with obvious worry. Your mother loved you very much and she was prepared to sacrifice herself that night to save your life. She was still alive after the Nine Tails attack, barely, but alive nonetheless. I placed her in a secret facility so that her wounds can heal as she sleeps. I'm still doing everything I can to make sure she will recover, Hiruzen explained before asking, how about I take you there so you can see her? Naruto latched onto Hiruzen and cried, thank you Grandpa, I'd love that. Well, what are we waiting for? Come with me, Hiruzen said with a warm smile as he took Naruto's hand, leading him to the facility where Kushina was slumbering. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. Naruto was silent the entire time as he listened to Hiruzen's stories about what kind of person his mother was as the Hokage led him through the hidden underground tunnels leading from the Hokage residence to the secret facility underneath the Hokage monument, where his mother was kept. He couldn't believe it. He was actually going to see his mother. It was like a dream about to come true. Eventually they reached the room where Kushina was laying. With a grandfatherly smile, Hiruzen motioned Naruto to go inside. Go on, meet her. Even though she won't talk back right now, I'm sure she will listen to you. Nodding his head up and down a few times, Naruto entered the room with nervousness, the kind of nervousness you felt when something you always desired very, very much was within arm's reach, but you were afraid that it was too good to be true, that it would disappear right in front of your eyes when you try to grab it. There she was, lying on a hospital bed with wires and tubes attached to her body in various places and an oxygen mask placed over her mouth. Taking a few seconds to collect himself, he slowly walked up next the bed and took a moment to take in his mother's sleeping form, noting that she looked like an angel. With both hands, he clutched his mother's left hand. Mom, can you hear me? It's me, Naruto, he began to say to her before he choked up. I wanted to meet you for so long, Mom. Grandpa told me you're a really cool and strong ninja. But he never told me you were so pretty, too, Naruto told her with a smile on his face as he was just saying whatever came to mind. I'm 6 already and I'm going to the Ninja Academy soon. I'll learn cool jutsus and moves, so I can be awesome like you too, and make you proud. And I'll make friends. Oh, and I love ramen too, just like Grandpa said you do. And one day, I'll be Hokage. The Orange Hokage, just you wait. Despite knowing she couldn't respond to him, it still hurt seeing his mother like this, unable to speak to him, and tears began to trickle from his eyes. Please wake up soon. I wanna talk to you for real, Mom. I don't wanna be alone anymore, ya know. Hiruzen watched with sadness from the sides as Naruto continued to pour his heart out to his comatose mother, torn between being happy at finally meeting her, and hurt because even though she was there, she couldn't be there for him. It tugged on his heartstrings to give the boy what may very well be false hope, but at least that hope would give the boy a reason to carry on and drive himself forward, for now at least. Soon enough, Naruto stopped talking to his mother, not knowing what to say anymore. He just kept hold of her hand like a lifeline, trying to comfort himself with her presence in silence. The fatigue from his emotionally and physically taxing day finally caught up with him as he started to doze off. Seeing this, Hiruzen picked him up before he could drop to the ground. Looking to Kushina for a moment, he sighed, he really takes after you, Kushina. I'm doing my best to look after him while you and Jiraiya can't, but I'm afraid these old bones best just isn't good enough. Jiraiya can't get here right now because of the ridiculous amount of missions we've needed done that seem to need his personal attention. He needs you. Turning around, Hiruzen exited the facility as he headed for Naruto's apartment to bring the sleeping boy to his bed. Once he arrived there, he quickly and quietly put the boy down to bed, and left as quietly as he came. His thoughts turned to a certain Toad Sage as he walked back to his office to finish some last-minute tasks before he would head home to bed. Jiraiya, my boy, he whispered aloud to himself, I need to find a way to better distribute your mission load so that I can bring you back here. Naruto would fare much better if he had his godfather in his life. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. 2 months later. 2 months later, Naruto stood in front of the class he was going to join. Grandpa had enrolled him so he could become a ninja. Next to him stood one of the class instructors, Iruka Yumino. Alright class, we have a new student joining our academy today, Iruka announced to the class. Being stared at by so many people at once made Naruto somewhat nervous, but he was excited as well. I'm Naruto Uzumaki and I'm going to become Hokage, ya know. He blurted out. After a brief silence, the entire class burst out laughing. Hey, look at those weird whiskers. Ya know. Ha ha ha. That sounds so stupid. You. Hokage. Yeah right. Naruto's head dropped down with his hair shadowing his eyes. Great, my first day just started and I'm already screwing up. He inwardly sulked as everyone kept laughing at his introduction. That's enough. Be quiet everyone. Settle down now. Iruka said, trying to get everyone to stop laughing so that he could start class. A tick mark formed on his head as he was ignored. Everyone shut up. That did the trick. Satisfied, Iruka motioned for Naruto to take his seat. Take your seat over there, Naruto. Naruto obliged and quickly scurried over to his appointed seat. All right, we will begin with history and the founding of Konoha, Iruka droned, to everyone's chagrin as the theory lessons were so boring that it could put a tailed beast to sleep. I hope the next 5 years won't be like this or I'll die from boredom. Naruto lamented as he unsuccessfully tried to keep his attention to Iruka's lecture. It had been a long 7 years since Naruto had started attending the Shinobi Academy. His relationship with Iruka-sensei had dramatically improved during that time, to the point where the Chunin teacher would even take his favorite student and treat him to Ichiraku ramen. The man was thankful that Naruto was their favorite customer, and his treating Naruto on such a regular basis scored him a permanent discount at the stand. He had been hoping to be able to treat Naruto to ramen after he had passed the graduation exam today, but sadly the boy had failed again. Iruka addressed the issue with the Hokage, telling him what the problem was, Naruto's inability to perform the clone jutsu. This was the 3rd time Naruto had failed the exam, and this was the first time a teacher had told him why. Iruka was stunned to find out that Naruto would never be able to perform the clone jutsu, not because of a lack of skill or proficient, but because he just had way too much damn chakra. Needless to say, Iruka was even angrier than the old man at his colleagues, who should have brought this before the Hokage immediately. Hiruzen had spoken with Iruka and they were going to schedule a makeup exam for Naruto by teaching him the Shadow Clone Jutsu, a jutsu that, while dangerous for any other child Naruto's age, would be perfect for Naruto, as his chakra currently dwarfed that of anyone in Konoha, including the Hokage himself. The old man also made a mental note to himself to investigate his teaching staff and possibly send a few of those teachers Abiki's way. It was so frustrating. When would the stupid idiots in his village ever learn? Besides, his ninja needed to be professional enough to perform the duties regardless of their feelings about the Nine Tails and Naruto. How was the village supposed to be able to rely on its ninja if they couldn't even do that? Iruka, on the other hand, had been on his way to tell Naruto the good news, only to be unable to find him, and then to learn later on that he had stolen the forbidden scroll of sealing. He immediately knew that something was very wrong, and he had to find Naruto before anyone else so that he could find out exactly what had happened. Naruto was a good kid, and he certainly wouldn't do something like stealing a classified village document. He wouldn't even have known about its existence unless someone of Chunin rank or higher had told him. No, it was obvious what had happened. Here, his student had been set up. After finding Naruto, and learning what Mizuki had told him about the makeup exam, Iruka couldn't help but grimace at the irony. Mizuki had attacked them both, and had tried to rattle Naruto by revealing the truth about the Nine Tails being sealed inside him. Iruka immediately stood up for Naruto against Mizuki, only for both of them to become confused by mirthless laughter from Naruto. To both instructors' surprise, this was very old news to Naruto, who simply berated Mizuki for his idiocy in ignoring the most basic tenet of sealing, which is that no object used as a contained ever takes on any of the properties of the object that is sealed within it. After a furious battle, which ended up with Iruka injured, Naruto having demonstrated exceptional mastery of, ironically enough, the shadow clone jutsu, and Mizuki unconscious, beaten to a bloody pulp, Naruto and Iruka found themselves in their current situation. Okay, you can open your eyes now, Iruka encouraged him. Doing as he was told, Naruto opened his eyes. Before him lay Iruka against a tree, sporting injuries from defending him against Mizuki. Besides his injuries and the glaring sunlight, Naruto saw Iruka wasn't wearing his forehead protector. In fact, he was wearing his teacher's forehead protector right now. Congratulations, you graduate. A smiling Iruka said, having seen the jutsu that he and the third Hokage were going to test him on anyway, and to celebrate, I have a surprise. We're going out for ramen tonight. Naruto was at loss for words. After 3 failed attempts and being set up for stealing the scroll of seals, he had finally graduated and become a genin. A megawatt smile broke out on his face as his mind finally caught up with reality. The moment was ruined as 3 members of the Hyuga police force appeared on the scene. 2 of them immediately grabbed Naruto, used their gentle fist taijutsu to incapacitate him, and pinned him down to the ground. The third one picked up the scroll of sealing. Naruto Uzumaki, you are under arrest for the theft of the forbidden scroll of sealing. One of the officers announced firmly and stoically, as one would expect from a Hyuga. Hey, let go of me, I did nothing wrong. Naruto protested. Oh, how he hated these guys. After the Uchiha clan was massacred by Sasuke's older brother, Itachi, the Hyuga clan took over as the police force. Unlike the Uchiha police force, they seemed to have it out for him and they were much rougher and colder in their treatment of him. He couldn't even get away with so much as a harmless prank or they would crack down on him, and not lightly either. And they nearly always managed to find him when he tried to hide. Hyuga-san. Naruto was tricked by Chunin Mizuki into stealing the scroll of seals under the pretense of the theft being a secret graduation exam. There's no need to arrest him like this. Iruka objected to the rough treatment Naruto was subjected to. That's irrelevant, Yumino-san. Uzumaki's role in this ordeal still stands and he will be brought to police HQ for interrogation, the officer who was carrying the scroll coldly rebuked. He motioned to the other two to follow him as they roughly pulled Naruto to his feet. Before they could leave, however, 3 Anbu appeared on the scene, one of them of captain rank. Unhand Naruto Uzumaki at once. The Anbu captain ordered the Hyuga officers. What is the meaning of this? The Hyuga who had declared Naruto's arrest demanded, "We are apprehending a criminal, here. Do not interfere with our duties. Uzumaki-san is not a criminal, he's a suspected criminal. Aside from that, given that his alleged crime is not of a civilian nature, but a military matter, you are acting outside of your jurisdiction. Unhand him immediately." Bristling with anger and humiliation, the lead Hyuga officer turned to the two holding Naruto and nodded, prompting them to comply with the Anbu captain's order. "Very well, Anbu. We've released him into your custody. We will now be on our way." "I don't think so," the Anbu captain retorted. "You see, not only were we ordered to relieve you of Uzumaki's person, we've also been ordered to bring Uzumaki-san, Yumino-san and the 3 of you before the Hokage." "Excuse me. Don't make this any more difficult than it has to be, Hyuga-san. If you resist our arrest, we have been ordered to use force to bring you to compliance with the Hokage's summons." Once more bristling with anger and humiliation, and also with some fear, the 3 Hyuga agreed to follow the Anbu to the Hokage building along with Iruka and Naruto. They knew what this meant. The Hokage knew what took place here, and he likely wasn't too happy about it. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. The fears of the Hyuga police officers had been confirmed. Hiruzen Sarutobi was not happy at all with the way they had handled Naruto, and after getting the full story from Naruto and Iruka, he was even less happy with the Hyuga. He ordered them to be taken to Ibiki, and told that they were there for mistreatment of Naruto. The ANBU, who had just offered condolences to the 3 Hyuga in the form of, "You poor unlucky bastards," immediately used Shunshin to remove them from his office. Hiruzen apologized to Naruto for the way the police force handled him, and aside from giving him a field promotion to Genin, had also given him pay equivalent to an A-rank mission for subduing and apprehending a traitor and for keeping village secrets from being given to an enemy. It was just before 2 o'clock in the morning when he had dismissed the pair of them, allowing them to return to their homes and rest, and informing him of his plans to enjoy ramen with the 2 of them that night, and that he would pick up the tab. His work, however, was not done. An Anbu he had sent out with a summons reappeared in his office with a rather surprised and frazzled-looking Hiashi Hyuga. "As ordered, sir, Hiashi Hyuga," the Anbu saluted the Hokage. "Excellent. Dismissed," Hiruzen responded, the Anbu vanishing at his dismissal. "Lord Hokage, what is the meaning of summoning me at such an hour?" Hiashi asked with respectful annoyance. "Hiashi, I have had enough of the way the Hyuga police force manhandles and mistreats Naruto Uzumaki every single time they invent a reason to apprehend him, and you are here to discuss this with me. The inconvenience of the hour is of no consequence to me at all." Well, maybe if that little miscreant didn't cause so much trouble all the time, he wouldn't get manhandled. Hiashi's eyes went wide at the monstrous killing intent that was suddenly crashing down upon him. Hiruzen rose to his feet, looking quite imposing, despite being several inches shorter than the Hyuga clan head. "I do not take kindly to police brutality and excessive force when making arrests, Hiashi. Your clansmen have a nasty habit of using both when dealing with Naruto in particular, and have for years, which means that either you are too incompetent to ensure your clansmen don't step out of line, or you've been turning a blind eye to their behavior. Or perhaps you've actually even permitted or encouraged them to act in such a manner. Given your clan's distaste of the boy, I'm inclined to believe the latter. Hyashi's eyes went even wider at this. He was being accused of conspiracy to harm an important village citizen. He had to clear the air and lay everything out on the table. No, sir, Hyashi answered with his shoulders slightly slumped in a show of dignified submission. I do not encourage my clansmen to use excessive force with any Konoha citizen. I will admit to not having bothered to call the conduct of my clansmen into question where the Uzumaki boy is concerned. I've operated with faith in my clan's professionalism and therefore did not see reason to doubt their conduct besides the fact that Uzumaki-san has a reputation as a troublemaker and that there seemed to be no real harm done to him. Well, because of your faith, as you put it, 3 of your officers are currently in Ibiki Morino's care. What? You arrested my clansmen while they were on duty. They stepped out of line on this one, Hyashi. They took it upon themselves to arrest Naruto over a matter that was outside of police jurisdiction, once again using excessive force and brutality as their first course of action rather than the last resort. It would seem that the Hyuga police force is getting a little too big for its britches, and an example must therefore be made to remind them that as Konoha's law enforcement personnel, they themselves are not above the law. They also need to be reminded that while they enforce the law, Hiruzen leaned forward and proclaimed forcefully, as Hokage, I am the law. I will tell you this once, and once only, rein your clansmen in, or it is they who will be charged and paraded around as criminals. And I assure you that I will prosecute them, and you, to the fullest extent of the law if something like this happens again. Hyashi tightened his lips together in a thin line before bowing and respectfully answering, I understand, Lord Hokage. I will ensure that my clansmen will not overstep their boundaries and behave in a more professional manner with the boy from now on. See that they do, Hiruzen retorted before returning to his chair to finish further paperwork. Hyashi left his office with his usual dignified gait despite feeling quite miffed at being dismissed in such a condescending manner. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. 6 months later, with a sneak attack from below, he had taken his opponent by surprise, knocking her down to the ground, unable to continue fighting. Proctor, I can't move, a grimacing Hinata Hyuga conceded, pain coursing through her body at the slightest movement. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki, Genma Shiranui announced. He did it. He had won his match and moved on to the next round, but even more so, he had kept his promise to win this fight. Back during the preliminaries, Hinata was pitted against her cousin, Neji. They were quite evenly matched until Hinata finally began to gain ground. She showed no mercy and left Neji very injured and used the curse seal all Hyuga branch house members were branded with after a brief exchange of arguments. It disgusted him to no end. That wasn't what the Will of Fire was about, and that was definitely not how you treated family. It angered him so much. He had no family, yet Hinata just took her family for granted and treated them like garbage. The fact the Hyuga use a curse seal was icing on the cake for him, whose life was defined by the burden that his own seal, his own curse, brought upon him. During the month between the preliminaries and the finals, he had spoken to Neji, who bitterly kept going on about fate, about how people couldn't change their lot in life and how he was fated to lose against Hinata in the finals. He blew up right there and swore he would win, that he would not lose against someone like Hinata and that he was in charge of his own fate. Neji for his turn looked stunned. He had heard some things about Naruto like how he graduated despite failing, but he figured it was nothing but luck. After all, once the dead list, always the dead list, you can't change your lot in life. He had dismissed his promise to beat his cousin as foolish bravado, but the knucklehead actually did it. Maybe fate wasn't so absolute after all. How? How could you win? You're the dead list, Hinata asked with pure disbelief. She couldn't believe that she, the Hyuga prodigy, had lost to the dead list of all people. Naruto was about to exit the arena, but stopped when he heard her question and frowned. Because I refuse to lose to someone like you. Huh? What do you mean by that? Hinata asked, confused by his answer. I mean that I refuse to lose to someone who is lower than trash, he harshly shot back. You treat your family like dirt, no, lower than dirt, just like the rest of your clan's main house. It's barbaric and disgusting how you main house Hyuga use a curse seal to burden and enslave your branch house members. Why would you even care? Because I've never had any family, and because I know what it's like to be burdened with a curse, something you with your spoiled, charmed little life will never understand, Naruto explained with cold anger before making his way out of the arena and leaving Hinata to her own thoughts. Meanwhile, Hiashi Hyuga frowned as he looked down at the entire spectacle. The outcome of the match was completely unexpected. If anything, it was preposterous. Nonetheless, it had happened, and it was plainly visible in front of them for all to see. And to top it off, he was barely even winded in terms of chakra reserves. Hinata was out of chakra, but Naruto, having used far more, still had most of his to spare. Plans on how to deal with this situation already formed in his head as the Hyuga clan's renowned aptitude for politics did its work. He had to speak with Hinata as soon as possible. A potential powerhouse like the Uzumaki boy could prove most beneficial to his clan, much more so than turning him against them. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. Naruto was dragging the newly christened 5th Hokage Tsunade Senju with him through the underground tunnels to the room, in the facility where his mother was. Despite Grandpa Hiruzen's best efforts before he died by Orochimaru's hands in the invasion during the Chunin exams, his mother was still comatose and hadn't shown much improvement. But now that he had the world's best medic with him, who he and Jiraiya had just recently brought back to the village, things were finally starting to look up in a way they never have before. If anyone could make his mother better, it would be Tsunade, and it renewed his hopes of finally getting his mother back in his life. Here it is. This is where Mom is. Naruto exclaimed excitedly. Tsunade walked into the room where his mother was lying and she released a loud gasp when she saw it who Naruto's mother was. Kushina. Kushina's your mother. Tsunade stammered out, looking at Naruto with shock. Shock at finding out that Kushina was still alive and that Naruto was her child. Naruto happily nodded his head several times. Yup. But how? I thought she died 13 years ago. Grandpa placed her here to prevent her from dying from her injuries, Naruto explained before his expression turned into one of sadness. Mom's injuries were really bad. Grandpa was able to keep her alive and did all he could, but she's still like this. Tsunade, who glanced over to Kushina's still form. Understanding dawned upon her. Naruto didn't bring her here just to show her his mother. he brought her here because he wanted her help. You brought me here because you want me to heal her, didn't you? When she looked back at Naruto, she saw a desperate child who wanted nothing more than to have his mother back. Yeah. It's just, and they say you're the best medic there is, and Grandpa tried for so long without getting anywhere. Naruto sadly spoke as he wistfully looked at his mother. Please, please help her. I don't know who else can. I just want my mother, he desperately begged until Tsunade shushed him by putting her finger against his lip before bringing a gentle hand to his face and kissing him on his forehead just like she used to with her late little brother, Nawaki. When she pulled away, she was smiling warmly at Naruto, who was now noticeably calmer. She couldn't say no to the love-starved soul before her in good conscience. Besides, it would go against her principles as a medic to not help, and she would be damned if she ran away when she had the chance to save someone important to her. Don't you worry, kiddo. I won't stop until she is awake and healthy again, she gently said, which prompted Naruto to latch on her. She let a soft smile come over her face and put her arms around Naruto's frame as he kept repeating words of thanks, and for a minute, they stayed like that before letting go. Now, let me take a look at her, Tsunade said as she went over to Kushina to diagnose her condition. Asterisk 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 line break asterisk 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 asterisk. Naruto Uzumaki, do you know why you are here? Naruto looked confused at the councilman who asked the question, an old man with a bandaged eye, and answered, not really. You are summoned here because of your performance during the Chunin exams, the subsequent invasion, and the councilman stoically began to explain before he was interrupted by Naruto. You're going to promote me to Chunin, right? Exclamation mark quote. Naruto excitedly exclaimed with his fox-like trademark grin. He, the dead last, had won his matches during the final stage. Heck, he had even beaten Hinata, something nobody had expected as she was considered the Hyuga prodigy. On top of that, he had stopped Gaara after he let the one tail loose on the village. He would finally be acknowledged as something more than just being the dead last of his generation. Happy bubble was quickly burst as another councilman, this time from the civilian side of the council, almost shouted with indignation in response to his joyful outburst, the impudence. You are not here for a promotion, and do not interrupt the council when we are speaking to you, Genin. Shimura-san, if you would continue. The old man he had interrupted continued in the same stoic tone of voice, yes, thank you. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, you have been summoned here in light of your performance during the Chunin exams, the invasion that followed, and the failed retrieval of Sasuke Uchiha. A sense of dread began to fill Naruto. This was starting to look bad, and the next words from another councilman from the civilian side confirmed what his gut was telling him. During each of these events you have been reported to have drawn upon the power of your tenant. But Naruto tried to defend himself by asking what was wrong about using the Nine Tails chakra, as it was just like any other ninja tool, but he was quickly cut off by another woman on the civilian side of the council who slammed her fist on the desk she was sitting at. No buts. Your reckless use of the monster fox's power risked setting that thing loose on our village, and you even have the nerve to think you are entitled to a promotion for that. The councilwoman shrieked. Another civilian council member quickly put his own 2 cents in. Do you even realize what you have done, boy? Because of your careless and over-dependent use of the Nine Tails power, the mission failed. But that is not fair. Sasuke would not come back without a fight. Naruto shouted in protest. That does not excuse your excessive use of force. Were you trying to kill him? It certainly was the perfect excuse to do so. Because of you, our village lost its last Uchiha along with its Sharingan bloodline limit. I had no choice. He tried to kill me and he would have if I hadn't used the fox chakra. He was using that curse seal Orochimaru gave him. Damn it. He impaled me through the chest, twice. Naruto yelled. He was used to being treated unfairly, but he still never could wrap his head around the unfairness of it all. It didn't take long before his reasoning was met with another verbal lashing from the civilian side of the council. Enough of these excuses. You don't look like someone who has been impaled once, let alone twice. Councilman, Tsunade interjected with an edge to her voice. I treated Naruto Uzumaki's injuries myself, and what he claims is in fact the truth. Are you calling me a liar? The civilian councilman, realizing that he had overstepped himself, apologized quietly and shrank back into his seat. And you also claim that he used Orochimaru's curse seal. Yet another civilian councilman barked, it was sealed away by one of our top shinobi. You have a lot of nerve to try and cover up your own misconduct with false accusations. You most likely goaded Uchiha-san into fighting. As a matter of fact, it is my understanding that you goaded him into a fight on top of the hospital roof shortly after the invasion with your insensitivity to his trauma with regard to the Uchiha massacre and apparent need to one-up the poor boy. He should be punished for endangering all of us by using that thing's power. Many council members on the civilian side were quick to join in as they too demanded punishment for Naruto's use of the Kyuubi's chakra under the pretense of endangering the village, intentionally attacking a fellow Konoha shinobi and being responsible for the loss of the Sharingan and its military potential. Tsunade's ire towards these corrupt ingrates was steadily rising with each passing moment. The shouts, the demands for justice, slammed at Naruto's heart and mind like battering rams. He knew the villagers had never been fair to him, but he couldn't believe they would go this far. The bastard abandons the village, almost kills him, and they want to punish him for it. It was emotionally too much for him and he looked like he was on the verge of having a panic attack. Tsunade saw Naruto's state and decided that enough was enough. Her temper and killing intent flared, making the civilian side of the council sweat as she cracked down on them. Idiots. He's the Nine Tails Jinchuriki. He's supposed to use its chakra. That's why he's got it. Should I arrest all of you just because I think you're all idiots to the point where it's a crime? Seeing her outburst achieved the desired effect of shutting the council up, she added in a threat with a dangerous edge to her voice that warned everyone not to cross her, and I will in turn charge all of you with fraudulent indictment if you so much as attempt to pin these charges on Naruto Uzumaki. Lady Hokage, all reports thus far have stated that Uzumaki-san has always been in a state of anger when drawing upon the Nine Tails chakra, which magnifies that anger and makes him act like what can only be described as a loose cannon. The one-eyed old man who had addressed Naruto earlier spoke, causing the civilian side of the council to look smug while the ninja side of the council murmured amongst themselves as they took in this information. What are you implying, Danzo? Tsunade growled out. Danzo was up to something and she didn't like it one bit. The old man, now identified as Danzo Shimura, evenly responded, I am merely pointing out the facts, Lady Hokage. Danzo, you're on very thin ice with me as it is, Tsunade warned him dangerously. If I were you, I would be very, very careful about pointing out facts as you put it, so carelessly. One might believe you were attempting to plant seeds of dissent and sedition against the legitimate ruling government of this village. Danzo gritted his teeth in rage, though he kept his lips pressed. He would have to watch himself very closely from now on, as he was beginning to realize that Tsunade Senju was not the woman of weak will and weak character that he had known her to be in her youth, or expected her to be ever since she left Konoha. She would not play the games that he and Hiruzen used to play in these meetings, and she had no real reason to want him around. Yes, he would have to be very careful from now on. Shimura-san has a point. We cannot just turn a blind eye to this delicate issue. Something has to be done, Hiashi Hyuga added, thinking he could use this situation to steer the boy into his clan's reach. Danzo shot a glance at Hiashi, slightly narrowing his sole visible eye as he did so. While it didn't hurt to have someone vocally agree with him, it would not do to have the Jinchuriki fall in the hands of the Hyuga. He was well aware through his root spies that the Hyuga clan intended to sink their claws into the Jinchuriki by having their clan heiress marry him, since the Jinchuriki defeated the Hyuga heiress in the Chunin exams. Besides exercising control over the village's greatest weapon, and if properly harnessed, they believed the union would boost the Hyuga clan's bloodline by combining the boy's potent and great amount of chakra and that of his tenant with the Byakugan. Of course, it was extremely unlikely that such a union would take place at this point. The Jinchuriki had made it no secret that he found the Hyuga heir to be repulsive and disgusting as a person, and therefore did not want anything to do with her, and as far as he was concerned, it should stay that way. If such a union were to be successfully arranged, the Hyuga clan would gain too much power and become a threat to the village, maybe even worse than the late Uchiha clan, and that was something he could not allow to happen. Indeed, Hyuga-san. However, Lady Hokage is also right that the Kyuubi's power is meant to be harnessed, Danzo continued, making Tsunade narrow her eyes in suspicion. I suggest we see to it that he will be taught how to use its power properly to prevent situations like this, or worse. To this end, I propose Uzumaki-san will be put under my tutelage. So that's how it is, Tsunade thought. She knew better than to trust Danzo after having read everything Sarutobi-sensei had left behind for his successor. Her teacher had written down about his suspicions of Danzo never truly having disbanded Root after he had been ordered to do so after the Uchiha massacre. She wouldn't let Danzo turn Naruto into another one of his emotionless drones, let alone his personal weapon. Fortunately, she could easily throw a monkey wrench into Danzo's plan and turned the attention back to her by clapping her hands together. I'm glad you mentioned this, Danzo. As a matter of fact, I have already arranged for this, Tsunade announced with a smug look on her face, much to the council's confusion. You see, Naruto's training for the next 2 years will be overseen by none other than Jiraiya himself. Lady Hokage, you must reconsider. That would interfere with Jiraiya's information-gathering duties. My duties, on the other hand, would not conflict with Uzumaki-san's training, and with my extensive experience I am more than qualified for the task, Danzo objected. Once again, the council murmured again. If one listened well enough, one could hear one of the civilian council members say that it would also interfere with Lord Jiraiya's upcoming book. Tsunade dismissively shrugged Danzo's objections off. First off, I'm Hokage, so I don't have to reconsider my decision at all, and secondly, it won't interfere with Jiraiya's duties at all, as Naruto will be traveling with Jiraiya during his training. Besides, I don't see anyone better equipped to oversee Naruto's training considering his expertise with seals. My decision is final. Danzo was seething. That fool of a woman had ruined his opportunity to get his hands on the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. He was no fool, and he knew he couldn't do anything but concede, for now. Of course, Lady Hokage, Danzo said between clenched teeth. Now, this goes for all of you, Tsunade warned. Since I've been back, I have been less vocal than I have wanted to be in these meetings up to now because I wanted to observe how this body operates, particularly with regards to Naruto, here. Well, I've observed enough, and this crap stops now. You are all way out of line in the way you've spoken to Naruto about anything related to his ninja career or his duties as a ninja. You are not ninja, nor have you ever been ninja, and therefore you have no right to criticize or make conjectures about what my ninja did or did not do. The room was quiet. The civilians were all stunned at Tsunde's rebuke, while the ninja clan heads were all patiently waiting, guessing that Tsunde had a few things to say to them as well. Tsunde continued, "For your information, my orders to Naruto and his entire squad were that if they were unable to subdue Sasuke Uchiha and bring him back to Konoha, then they were to eliminate him." This caused a wide array of gasps and loud vocal objections by the civilians, stating that she couldn't do that, or that it was wrong to place the demon brat's welfare over that of the last Uchiha. It was this last one that Tsunde thought was the last straw. "Anbu," she called. Immediately, several ANBU in the room appeared behind all of the objecting civilians, and Danzo as well, and put blades to their necks, exuding their killing intent upon them to keep them silent and cowed. Danzo simply sat there with an unreadable expression, seemingly cool as ice. "You may have rescinded the Third's law before I was inaugurated, and obviously since his status is no longer an S-ranked secret, I can't make it illegal to talk about it, but there is something I can and will do about it. I am now instituting the Fifth Hokage's law. Any illegal, negative or malicious behavior towards Naruto that is even suspected to be driven by his connection to the Nine Tails, will be met with swift and immediate execution without exception. This includes any and all of you. Are there any doubts in any of your minds now that I mean business?" Fearful shakes of their heads were the civilians' response, while everyone else simply acknowledged their understanding of the new law calmly. "ANBU, you are hereby authorized to enforce this new law immediately. So council members, civilian and ninja alike, I suggest you start spreading the word, because my declaration of this law is the only warning this village is going to get. Now," Tsunde continued, "to clarify the matter of Sasuke's curse mark being sealed away, the seal used to restrain it is tied to the will and desire of the person on whom the seal is placed. Meaning that the only way the seal would have been able to be used is if Uchiha-san wanted to use it of his own free will. Any more talk of this, and I will declare Sasuke Uchiha a traitor and have him entered into the bingo books as an A-rank rogue ninja with a kill-on-sight order. Do not test me." Once more, she was met with a quiet chamber. "Good. I will take your silence as acknowledgement that you understand all I have told you. This council is hereby adjourned." Once everybody left, Tsunde went over to Naruto, who was sprawled in his chair with resigned and frustrated exhaustion. She took his hand with her own, causing him to look up at her. "Come with me, Naruto," she invited with a look of sympathy. Naruto simply followed her lead, rising from his chair and letting her lead him by the hand back to her office. Once they were inside, she let go of his hand and closed the door. She walked back over to him and placed her hand on his arm. "Are you all right?" I think so. I just can't believe they would do something like this," Naruto responded under his breath, looking downcast. "When will I leave with Pervy Sage? I really need to be away from the village for a while." "You and Mr. Super Pervert will be leaving tomorrow," she informed him in an encouraging tone, before pulling him into a gentle and warm hug. He didn't hesitate to return it, closing his eyes and allowing himself a smile as he took in the warmth that he and she both shared for each other. "You know, Naruto," Tsunde began after pulling back, placing a gentle hand on his face as had become her usual behavior towards him. I sometimes can't help but think of you as my little brother, maybe even a bit as my own son, too. Really? He asked with a hopeful smile. Yeah, really, Sunad answered, planting a kiss on the cheek opposite to where her hand was. Now, go home and make sure you get some sleep, okay kiddo? All right, Auntie Sunad, Naruto sighed as he walked out of the room and headed to his apartment. Her smile widened as he called her that, though as he left, she couldn't help but stare sadly at